Hey guys, and welcome to our first video at D&P Tech. Before I continue, we'd like to say thanks to our sponsor, Swanson Dental.
Swanson Dental is a family dental practice with state-of-the-art equipment, combining modern dentistry with exceptional care and service. Their well-trained team of dentists, hygienists, reception, and support staff are there to provide you with a continuity of care, offering you advice, help, and guidance. Check them out in the video description.
In this video, we'll look how to build a gaming PC under $750 that will play most games at a reasonable frame rate. Now for our components. If you're not sure how to choose PC components or are worried that some parts might not be compatible with others, check the video over here. For our CPU, we'll be using this AMD FX 4350 quad-core, and we'll be using Crucial's 8GB DDR3 memory. For our graphics card, we'll be using a GTX 1050 OC from Gigabyte. But in order to use this card, we need to use a 400-watt Xiaomi PSU. And we'll be using Intel's 120 SSD to install Windows. Now our original plan was to buy an off-lease PC and upgrade the parts, but I forgot to check the CPU compatibility with the included motherboard. The only good thing that came with this off-lease PC is that Windows 7 came pre-installed in the hard drive, which means we don't have to pay for Windows 7. Yay! Some advice from me is to check your CPU compatibility so that you don't have to spend any money on the motherboard that you don't need. Anyway, if you were going to buy an off-lease PC and upgrade it, the price for your budget gaming PC would be much cheaper than the one I'm going to be building today. And lastly, we'll be using an Asus M5878-M Plus, the motherboard that we desperately needed. So let's get into why we chose the components. The reasons we chose these products are: 1. The included CPU and graphics card from the off-lease PC, which struggled to support lots of the modern games, for example, Minecraft, Roblox, Club Penguin. We chose AMD's FX 4350 because it's relatively cheap priced for its clock speed at 4.2 GHz, and also because it was the only one in stock when we purchased all of these items. We purchased the GTX 1050 so we could have respectable frames per second, and because it's also great value for your money. And the SSD is for faster boot time, and if you wanted, you could also install applications that you will use frequently, such as games, Microsoft Word, video editing software, so that they can open faster. If you want to spend less than $750 on a PC, you can always buy a cheaper RAM, a cheaper CPU, and a cheaper video card. And it'll still, hopefully, fingers crossed, run Minecraft at over 3 frames per second. Now it's testing time. You should always test your components before putting them in your case. If you don't have an anti-static testing platform, you can always use the cardboard box that your motherboard came in. Open the motherboard box and take the motherboard out of the bag. This bag protects the motherboard during shipping. While holding the motherboard, try to hold it by its heatsink and backplate to avoid damaging the motherboard's fragile electronics. Now, gently place it on your testing platform. Carefully place the CPU in its socket, making sure that the triangles on your CPU are pointing in the same direction as the CPU socket. Insert the RAM by opening the tabs, aligning the RAM sticks correctly, and applying some force down until both tabs make a click sound. I'll explain how to install everything else once we are ready to put it in our case. So just enjoy this sped up clip of me doing exactly what I'm going to teach you later. Alright, so now that our PC is built, we can grab a monitor and see if it will host. Alright, now we can turn it on. If your motherboard does not have an onboard power switch, you can always grab a key or a screwdriver, Allen key, anything, really anything metal, and come here, and you just find the power switch, and you just short them with metal, and your system should post. And let's see if we can. Oh, we need a keyboard. Just hey, and there we go. So the system posts. Awesome. So we have 80% functioning PC. Let's get on with the real build. So here is our PC case. So what we're gonna do first is take off both side panels and put them in a safe place where no one can scratch them. Most case manufacturers have thumb screws, but if they're too tight, just use a screwdriver to loosen them. And then they should be easy to unscrew them by hand. I do recommend putting all your screws from your case into a container. In my case, I will be putting them in my RAM holder, or RAM package. So now uninstall both side panels. Zip this. Now install the motherboard. My case already has stands off pre-installed, but if your case does not have them pre-installed, screw them in now. Next is the I/O shield. All I/O shields are usually found in the motherboard box. All you need to do is make sure that you align it properly, so when you insert your motherboard, they're not the wrong way around. So I'll just make sure that's properly in place, that way. And now all you need to do to make sure that's secure is just press on all four corners that until it makes a click sound. That's how you know that it's secure and it won't fall out. Now, take your motherboard, make sure you hold it by something that won't be damaged easily, for example, the cooler, and gently slide it through the I/O shield. Now make sure you hold it so that it prevents from sliding. Sliding will cause the back of the motherboard to scratch, which is not always that good. So now make sure you get the right screws. If you're not sure which screws to use, make sure to check the manual of your case and your motherboard. And hold the motherboard for at least 2 screws. Well, that's what I like to do, just in case it does slide. When screwing in the screws, make sure that they're not super tight, because if you do them super tight, you might crack the motherboard, and I've learned this from experience. At this point, I like to connect the front panel connectors, because if you do it later, you might find it hard to find the headers with the GPU installed and, you know, everything installed. So we have USB 3.0. So we'll use the case's cable management to navigate it to where the header is. It's quite easy to find because it's really different to all the other connectors. So in my case, the USB 3.0 socket is right here. So we can go underneath. And it only goes one way, so make sure that you don't force it if it doesn't go in. Now we have USB 2. This looks like a lot of the other headers on the motherboard, but it has a block on the connector and a missing pin on the header. So make sure that you find the right one. If you're not sure which one, just consult your manual. So do the exact same thing through the motherboard, the case cable management. And make sure you align the missing pins and block the same orientation. Perfect. So that's USB 2 done. Now, we have one that looks exactly the same as USB 2.0, except it's not. It's your front panel audio. Most cases have the headers located on the bottom left corner. So you'll do it again, like the USBs, the cable management, nice and tidy. So this has the block like USB 2, but it's in a different position. And also the header is, the missing pins in a different position. So you just need to make sure that you align it correctly. And make sure it's not USB, because the cable might burn. I've also learned that from experience. Now for the most difficult bit. Connecting the power switch, LEDs, reset button, and hard drive LED. This is quite difficult because it's quite hard to find where it is. So you want to do the exact same as the rest of the cables. I like to connect the power switch first because it does not matter which way you put them in. You don't need to really worry about negative and positive. So just find the header on your motherboard. Consult the manual if they're not clearly labeled. So our power switch is right here. Cool. And don't worry, we'll worry about cable management later. Next we'll be doing the reset switch. Now it does matter which orientation you put it in, but don't worry. If you put it in the wrong way, it won't damage your motherboard. Our one is here. So underneath the power switch. Cool. And if it doesn't work, you can always just unplug it and do it the opposite rotation. Now we got the HDD LED. And again, this does matter which way you put it in, because yeah, it won't damage the motherboard once again. So the HDD LED goes right next to the reset switch, which I cannot connect.
Is it the same on all motherboards?
Yes, it is all the same. It's all the same on all motherboards, and some motherboards are not clearly labeled where to put them, and they will be on the manual clearly labeled. And lastly, we have the power LED, because you know, power LEDs these days are pretty cool. So we're just gonna guess which one's positive and negative. Again, it won't damage the motherboard. We'll just need to rotate it in the opposite. And there we go. There's your front panel connectors all connected. So thanks for watching part 1 of a $750 gaming PC build. Please subscribe to our channel, it helps a lot. Like this video and comment in the comment section how many times my shirt has changed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.